Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to my channel, and if this is your first time, happy welcome. So today I'm going to be teaching you guys a particular question on the screen. This is an Olympiad math question, and this is dedicated to all the students that are studying for their math Olympiad exam, the international mathematics Olympiad exam that is coming up very soon. So as you can see on the screen, we have the question: find all the values of the parameter k for which the following system of equations does not have a solution. So this is a continuation of the first video I made, if you guys remember, where I told some of you to attempt this question. But if this is the first video that you're watching on my channel or on this series, then that's fine too. We can work on this together. So you're given this question: find all the values of the parameter k for which the following systems of equation does not have a solution. So basically what this is asking you is for you to solve the equation and find what is the value of the parameter k. Now whenever you solve the system of equation, here we have two equations, right? We have equation 1, okay, and we have equation 2, right? When you're solving systems of equation, what your plan is to reduce the number of equations into 1 and to reduce the number of variables into 1. So, for example, you go from 2 variables, right, x and y, to 1 variable, and you go from 2 equations to 1 equation. The same way if you were given a question where you had 3 equations. So you had 3 equations and 3 variables, say x, y, and z. When you're solving systems of equation, you're going to go from 3 equations to 2 equations, from 3 variables to 2 variables. That is the way you solve, by simplifying it. And the best way to simplify something is to make it basically easier to be able to solve. So that's what we're trying to do here. But the question doesn't stop here. We're not solving for x or for y. We're solving for values of the parameter k for which this system of equation has no solution. So let's start. The first thing you have to do is, we're going to work on this. So you have kx plus 2y equals 1, and then 2x plus ky equals 1, and you have the top equation, you have the bottom equation. The way you can work on this is we're going to try the elimination method, because if we can eliminate one of the variables in order for us to solve for the other, usually, honestly, the easiest way. So you have kx plus 2y plus 1 and 2x plus. What is something that you can multiply at the top and at the bottom in order for us to cancel, or in order for us to eliminate one variable? So my goal in this case to eliminate the variable x. So what I can do here is to multiply this top equation here by 2 and multiply the bottom equation by negative k. So when we do that, what we end up with is 2kx, okay, plus 4y equals 2, and negative 2kx minus k squared y equals negative k, right? So when you add them up right here, you end up having 2kx plus minus 2kx is the same thing as 0, right? And then 4y minus k squared y. So what you end up with here would be 4y minus k squared y equals, now you have 2 minus k, so you have 2 minus k here, right? So that's basically it so far. So the next thing you can do now is, you have this equation 4y minus k squared y equals 2 minus k. You can basically do this right here and put 4y minus k squared y equals 2 minus k. So what is something that we can factor on the left side? Well, we have the main variable here. Main variable is y. We can make y the subject of formula. So we can factor out y first and have 4 minus k squared equals 2 minus k, making y the subject of formula. We have y equals 2 minus k divided by 4 minus k squared. What is the way we can work with this? Well, if you've been doing your math and you've been practicing, you know that this question looks like something that can be manipulated or changed in a way for us to simplify further. So we can't leave our answer as 2 minus k divided by 4 minus k. What we can easily do is just bring out a minus, factor out a negative 1, okay? And from there you can get k minus 2, okay? When you factor out a negative, so you bring out a negative here, you end up with k minus 2, because if you multiply the negative 1 by k and negative 2, you end up with negative k plus 2, which is what we have on the left side. So we're just factoring things out to make it easier. So let's factor as another negative 1. So we end up with square squared, okay, minus 4. Mashallah, so this looks good. You make this one positive, so you end up with y equals k minus 2 divided by k squared minus 4. So that's not the answer fully. We can do this further, like we can further simplify. So we end up with y equals k minus 2. The way we can break k squared minus 4, if you've watched the first video, I'm sure this is super easy for you. But if this is your first time watching it and your math is pretty good, you'll be able to think through this one. But just for anyone who may be confused, whenever you have, say, x squared minus 1 is the same thing as x plus 1, x minus 1. If you have x squared minus 16 is the same thing as saying x plus 4, right? And x minus 4. So if you've done like algebra problems frequently, then you know that like this question here you have x squared minus 4 squared. We can do something similar here. We have k squared minus 4. K squared minus 4 can easily be changed to k minus 2, okay, and k plus 2. Guys can see where this is going, right? So you cancel this one, you cancel this, what you end up with is y equals 1 over k plus 2. That is like the answer for y. But we're not solving for y, right? We're solving for the values whenever k has no solution. Sorry, not whenever k has no solution, when the systems of equation has no solution. So we want to see a point where the variable, the equations that we had, equation 1 and equation 2, has no solution, right? It's similar to basically what we're doing here. Well, we solved for y, we know that we 1 over k plus 2. But is there a point whenever we have 1 over k plus 2 that y is undefined? Because we're trying to say no solution. When something is undefined, it has no solution. Well, we already know that 1 over 0 is always going to be undefined. Or we can also say cannot be solved, hence no solution. Well, in a particular situation, in order for us to get 0 here, k plus 2 equals 0, we know that k has to be equal to negative 2. So at point where parameter k is negative 2 is where the system of equations has no solution. Has no solution. That's it. At point where parameter k is negative 2 is where the system of equations has no solution. So at the point where k equals negative 2, that will be negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So 1 over 0 is undefined. At that particular point, the systems of equation has no solution. Guess what, you guys? If we even end up deciding to rewrite the equation, right? We put kx plus 2y equals 1. And we have 2x plus ky. I'm rewriting the question. Because if we decide that we want to keep in kx and you have plus 2y, and you have k, and you decide that I want to keep the x variable, but I want to eliminate the y. All you have to do here is, for the top equation, you do multiplied by negative k, and the bottom equation, you just say multiplied by 2. And when you do it, you end up with negative k squared, right? Oh, that's negative k squared x minus 2ky minus k, and then you have 4x, okay, plus 2ky equals 2. When you do this and you successfully cancel this out, and you have 4x minus k squared x, right, equals minus k plus 2. When you go through the whole process that I did just previously here, you're going to find out that the answer that you're going to get at 4 parameter k, where it has no solution for the systems of equations, is also going to give you k equals negative 2. I want you guys to try it on your free time, and then put it in the comment section if you guys have a different answer. Then I'll walk you through solving the problem the right way in case you guys make any mistakes, but I'll write it in the comment section. But I wanted you guys to try this, because some people are like, well, you just tried it for y, so maybe if you tried it for x, it would be different. No, same situation, nothing is different. So you guys should try with the other variable where you eliminate y and you make x the subject of formula, and you solve for s, x, and c. When you do that, what value of parameter k would the actual equation be no solution, like it's not going to be able to be solved? You see that the answer is also going to be k equals negative 2, just like we did when we were solving for y. So I just wanted you guys to try that. Hopefully it really works and it helps you. So the next question that we have is just me giving you guys this question that I would like for you guys to attempt, which is this on your own free time. I'm not going to solve it here. I'm going to be doing it in the next video. So you have x squared plus 5x plus 5, right? This is the question I want you guys to solve for. And yeah, solve for this question. And the solution to this is going to be on the screen. As you can see, it's right on the screen. I wish you guys all the very best. Please study and prepare well. Follow through my video. Subscribe if you would love to. And make sure you like the video if you learned something new. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.